Everybody give me a virtual thumbs up if you guys are ready, and then I'll give a small recap for last week. Okay. Everybody looks like they're ready. Great. Okay. Here we go. Anybody else want to join with video? So it looks like besides Escava, Albert, Saf, Leon, and Chloe. There you go. What's up, Mark? Nice to see you. There you go, Joyce. What's going on? Good. Makes me feel like a real class. Ikey Saf. There you go. Zaku Baruch. Okay. Here we go. I'm last guys in. Good. Jacob Shalom is there. I can't see this iPhone guy. Whose iPhone? Let me see who that is. Who's that?
Clemmy.
What's up, Clemmy? You don't like to show us your beautiful face? Love it. Okay. All right, here we go. So good. Clemmy's there. All right. So I'm going to give you guys a brief recap of what happened last time so you guys can take the notes. Ready? In very super fast. Okay. In law number 1, we just basically spoke about how Netilat Yadayim is from the rabbis and not from the Torah. But still, because the Torah tells you have to follow rabbis, you could still say Asher Kiddishanu v'Mitzvotav Etzivanu, which means Hashem sanctified us and commanded us. So he technically didn't. The rabbis are the ones who did. But again, you're allowed to do that. Okay, next. That was Aleph, right? Bet. We said that the reason for Netilat Yadayim is to clean your hands, is to have clean hands. This is, again, we're talking about the Netilat Yadayim of the meal. The only reason why you need Netilat Yadayim of the meal is to have clean hands. That's Bet. Gimal. Women also, right? Because women's lives matter, right? WLM, right? Everybody give me a thumbs up with that, right? Good. Okay. We have women also need to say Netilat Yadayim, and therefore they also need to make sure that they're training all of the kids in their house to make sure that they're also doing Netilat Yadayim. Dalid was the tough one. What we said is that there are 3 stages. If a person knows that they're eating less than a kezait, 29 grams, according to my opinion, it was 27 grams, but I'll take either answer. If we want to just go with what's in the booklet, we'll write 29 grams. Right, 29 grams is called a kezait. And yeah, Joseph, that's right, baby. Garrett Cole. There we go. Okay. The less than a kezait, you do not need to wash your hands. If you know for a fact going in, you're not going to eat that amount of time. From the law, you do not need to eat, if you not need to wash your hands if it's less than a kezait. Okay? But stage 2, if you know you're going to eat a kezait, you should wash your hands, but without a beracha. Anything more than a kezait, our halacha is that you need to wash with a beracha. It's always best to eat a besa. Everybody say it, besa. Besa with a sadi, right? Not sadiq, right? Sadiq is a righteous person. Rather, it's sadi, right? Besa. Okay, so, right, besa is again where we draw the line with a right, was where we draw the line with a right, where we draw the line where you need to have a beracha with if you're having for sure 2 kizetot, then according to all opinions you wash with a blessing. Okay, that was the summary. Thumbs up on the summary. How do you like that? Good. Okay.
Wait, that was the summary of the whole last class?
Summary of the last class. We didn't start new stuff yet. All right, Kat? Okay. All right, we're starting right now. Okay?
Question.
Okay, good.
Right. Quick question.
Who is this?
Palachi.
Sorry, Palachi, where are you? Let me just get you. I got you here. Okay, good.
1 kezait is 29 grams?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right, good. Let's go back to here.
Rabbi, did one kazite is 27 grams.
Yeah, I'm going to put on the test between 27 and 29, like that. You know what I'm going to say? You know?
And then for betzah, I did 20. So 27 is for kazite, and then betzah is 54.
Correct.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay. If you want to do 29 and 56, it's the same. I was just telling everybody it's between 27 and 29 and 54 and 56. So like on the multiple choice test, I'm going to say kezait is between 1 and 5 grams, 15 and 20 grams, 27 and 29 grams, or 1,000 grams, right? And what is it? Freddie Greenberg? Oh, he's talking to somebody over there. I don't know. 27 and 29 grams. Good. Palachi, you got me?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Great. Okay, here we go. So now we're going to start the new stuff. We're going to be on hair. Everybody give a thumbs up if you can see that we're on, that you can see the sheet. Either you have it by yourselves. Let me just stop the share for one. I don't know. Here we go. I'm on hair. Everybody give me a thumbs up if you can see the screen and hair. You're there. Good. Okay. Ready? I'm going to read and you guys will take notes. Here we go. So now I'm up to hair over here. Hanotel yadav v'bracha al dat le'echol shi'ur kal be'esah pot. If a person would like to wash their hands, but he knows he's going to eat a lot, right? Be'esah is 56 grams or 54 grams. What's pot? Wise guys.
Bread.
Great. Bread. Okay, I write it a little robotic, but it's the best I could do with my mouse. Okay, pat is bread. And then after he ate bread, he got sick. Or let's say he didn't eat. So that means that, let's say I had in my mind that I'm going to pig out and rock the Hot Bagel Bakery for 3 egg bagels, right? I'm going to go Majnoon, right? Now, let's not use egg bagels. Let's use everything bagels. I'm going to have 2 full everything bagels, which is definitely going to be a betzah. Now, what happens? I start eating my first half, and I don't feel so good. So that means in the middle, I was ne'enas. Ne'enas means, I'm just going to draw a line over here. Ne'enas or ones. Anybody remember what ones means?
Not by will.
What did you say, Cass? Say it again.
Not by will.
Not by will. Good. You're forced or you're stuck. That's the more you're stuck. Person didn't do anything on purpose, but ne'enas, not by your will, exactly like Carol said, right? Ne'enas velo yachol hamshich ba'achilato. So you got stuck, and now you couldn't continue eating. So what would you say? Like, oh man, but I learned that you have to eat this much if you're going to say netilat yadayim. As long as
it doesn't matter. You had in mind that you were going to eat that.
That's what you were going to do, then that's fine. But and then eno hayav. This is the key. Eno hayav le'enos atzmo le'echol ad shiur kabesa kedei shelo tiyeh berchato beracha levatala. You might want to say, I need to force myself to eat a lot, meaning even though my stomach is hurting, in order to make sure that my netilat yadayim beracha is not for no reason, which we said is a violation of the 10 Commandments. Which
you have to enjoy the meal.
But you're also not supposed to be forcing yourself to eat.
Exactly.
If you don't feel good, you're not supposed to force yourself to eat.
I understand, Jacob. Good. So that's the point. The point is, don't force yourself, even though you have a biblical commandment not to make the beracha levatala. Okay. Shema shebirech al netilat yadayim enzo beracha levatala. What you first said in beracha of netilat yadayim is not beracha levatala. I love this saying. Hacham enav birosho means the smart guy is patient and he looks at the future. Hacham enav birosho, keep your eyes in your head. Meaning sometimes I have this, right? Sometimes your eyes are bigger than your stomach. And you want to say, yeah, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have this. The Hacham keeps his eyes in his head. Don't bug your eyes out in order to eat that much. Meaning This end says it even applies. Let's say you ate too much salad or you ate too much of something else and you said, I'll get back to the bread. But then you didn't, and now you're full. So like Jacob said, once I'm full, I don't have to force myself to eat the bread if I didn't eat the kabetza. So now, summarize. Ready? We're going to summarize what we just read. This is what you need to write down for law he. We have to write down is, if, steig it out, use the thumb, if a person washed his or her hands, knowing that they were going to eat the right measurement, meaning of a besa, 54 to 56 grams, and something happened in the meal where they got stuck, either they got full on other food, or they got nauseous, or they weren't in the mood, you do not need to force yourself to eat the betzah, right? You can stop eating that much bread. You don't have to. If you can, great, but you don't have to force yourself. And it's not going to be considered a beracha levatala. Beracha levatala means a beracha for no reason, which violates the 10 commandments of lo tisa Shem Elokecha lashav. Okay? So beracha levatala means for no reason. So don't worry about it. If you ever, as long as while you were washing your hands, you had in mind that you were going to eat the right amount, and then something happened that was beyond your control. You didn't know you were going to get that full. You didn't know you were going to get nauseous. Do you have to force yourself? The answer is no, and that's the halacha.
Do you still have to say Birkat Hamazon in that case?
Great question. You do not need. It depends how much you ate. If you ate a kizayit, then yes. Less than a kizayit, you do not.
But if you ate a kazai, wouldn't you already be saying wouldn't it already be fine if you said the beracha netilat yadayim?
You technically don't have to make a beracha unless you're eating a
Also
beracha.
true, but exactly a kazayit. I'm taking exactly a kazayit. You don't need a beracha, and you said one. You have to eat a little more than a kazayit. Jacob, you got that answer?
Yeah, but like it's coming. It's by the time you eat a kazait, you probably already ate over a kazait anyway.
Most likely, we ate just below. You're really banged up about this kazait thing, Jacob. You were gassed last week also.
I wasn't gassed.
No, I'm saying you sound like the type of guy that wants to bring your scale to the table. You know what I'm saying? To like make sure it's legit.
Yeah, I'll bring the big scale to the table. Measure the bread every time I eat it.
No, not the scale you stand on.
Obviously.
Go to Amazon, get a food scale. Joyce is cringing. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Joyce. Okay. Any other? Okay, Jacob, we good or no? We got that.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, Palachi's got one. Palachi, kavod.
I missed the first week and I forgot. I wrote a different summary with a different rabbi. Can I tell you it, see if it's right?
Not now. In the middle of class. If you wanna hit me up on Insta and we'll go over it, then fine. No, I'm not on Insta. I'm kidding. But
It's at Just In It for the live.
I just did it for the live. That's mommy's thing. Thanks, Kat. I'll put it in. Let me. I'm gonna go to the chat for a second. I gotta stop the shit. Palachi, I'll do this at the end. Stay on at the end, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, good guys. Can we all move on? Next law. Give me thumbs up. Virtual thumbs up. Anybody else have a question? Okay, we're looking good. Okay, good. Next.
So there's only one halacha for the whole hay?
Yeah, that's it. We summarized it. That's it. We're good. Good?
Yeah.
Mark, we good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, let's go to Vav now. I'm over here on Vav. Okay, Hakoveya Seuda. Okay, now you have to know what Koveya Seuda means. Koveya Seuda means establishing, right? Establish. I'm running out of space, so I'm just going to go establish. Establish a meal. Establish a meal. I butchered this. Okay, fine. This says establish a meal. That's Koveya Seuda.
You know,
So
there's a
there's a
text
way-
box option in the annotation thing.
What?
There's a text box option in the annotation setting.
Like that. Let me see. Text box. Oh, cool. Let's do this. Nice. Thank you. Then I'll just draw the arrow to it, maybe. Right?
You can move it by dragging
I'll
on
move
the
it right up
side.
next to it. Right? Okay.
Oh wait, no, never mind. You can't now.
Oh, maybe I could undo. Okay, got it. All right, it's establish a meal. See it? Okay, good. We'll go back to this. Okay, good. Okay, good. Thank you for that. Okay, so we have Kovea Seuda means establish a meal. So why do I have to establish a meal? So everything that we said back in Daled from last week applies to bread. We all know that when do we say Birkat? If somebody was to ask you, translate for me what Birkat Hamazon is in English. What would you guys say Birkat Hamazon is in English?
Grace after meals.
The grace after meals. Good job, Ikey, right? Grace after meals, meaning like I'm saying thank you to Hashem after I had a meal. Well, raise your hand if you've ever just had a salad for a meal. I've had a salad that was just for a meal. Raise your hand if you've just had, let's say like a protein bar, right? Let's say, it's like little tiny meals, right? You've had that for a meal. So why don't I have to say Birkat Hamazon after those little tiny meals?
Notice how it says mazon.
Mazon means bread.
Mazon basically meaning like from the Chamisha Dagan.
Excellent. Very good, Carol. Very good. Ronnie was on it too, right? So you have the concept of mazon means from the 5 grains and specifically bread. Now, this is going to get a little tricky, but it's going to be very informative for you guys. Okay, there's something called Pat Haba'a Bekisnin. See it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is Pat Haba'a Bekisnin? Pat Haba'a Bekisnin, text box, right? Text box means bread of Kisnin. Thanks, Rabbi. I didn't know that. So there are 3 definitions as to what Kisnin means, right? Number 1 is to mean a pocket. How do you say kis, guys? What's a kis? Your pocket. So patabab kisnin means your pocket. So who can give me an example of a food with a pocket?
Pita bread.
What?
Pita bread.
Something that's
Pastrami
not bread.
puff.
Sandwich.
Sandwich doesn't have a pocket.
Pastrami puff.
Pastrami puff, good, excellent.
Waffle.
Guys, how about a sambusak? Oh my God. Guys, right? Right? A sambusak has something in it. It has a pocket where there's something inside.
Potato knish.
Potato knish, there you go. That's like the pastrami puff. Very good. So automatically, something that's inside a pocket, according to this opinion, would not be bread. Okay, but that's just the first opinion. There's another opinion. What does kisnin mean? It means crispy, like a cracker. Right? From kisnin, from the lashon of koses. Koses means when you chomp on something. Kas, 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 kas. That's what it means to crisp on something that is crispy. So what's an example of something that's crispy like a cracker? Do not say cracker. Dibs. What is it? Give me another example.
A burnt hot dog.
I didn't hear you. Carol, what?
I was gonna say a burnt hot dog, but
Burnt hot dog. You don't have to go that far.
carrot.
Matzah.
How about a
Like Joey
cookie?
Azrak, you said matzah.
Not
That's
just technically
good.
a cracker.
Right, technically a cracker, right? How about a cookie, guys? Oreo cookie, right? Oreo cookie. Has anybody ever said hamotzi on a cookie? Why not?
Well, I mean, I have, because one time I had 300 grams worth of cookies.
Oh, okay, so that's intense, right? So we're gonna see 300 grams worth of cookies. We're gonna have to see, right? Right. If you're a real Sassoon, though, Ronnie, they must have been chocolate covered. Don't mess with me.
Oh,
For
yes,
sure,
they
right? Were
were.
they chocolate covered? I want your dad to be proud. Okay.
Ronnie, don't disappoint Ronnie.
Yeah, he's not going to disappoint. Ronnie never disappoints. Right? So good. I see one. Joshua Rao with Zatar chips, pita chips, Esther Shem Tov, toast, Henry Tawil.
Burnt
Okay.
cracker.
Some good ones, right? A flatbread, right? Any of those things that are crispy. Also, they're made of wheat, just like Carol said. And like Ronnie said, also the 5 types of grain. Those grains are in cookies. Those grains are in crackers. Why aren't I saying hamotzi on them? Because according to this, it's crispy like a cracker. And then number 3 is kisnin, means buried. Buried into the dough, meaning sugar, fruit, sweetness is kneaded into the dough. Now that's a key thing. It has to be kneaded into the dough. What does kneaded mean? Not kneaded with an N, kneaded with a K. What is
Baked with it.
K-N-E-A-D? So what does that mean?
Baked with it.
Baked with it inside.
How does that relate to kisnin?
Because kis means kasui, covered. So meaning it's inside meaning the dough covers the sweetness, but the sweetness is nonetheless there. Okay, good. I didn't hear who said that, so I just want to make sure that I got it. Whose question was that?
Me.
Ronnie, good. So you see, so kisnin, a pocket. One interpretation is kisnin is a pocket, like a sambusak. 2, the second one is that it's called kisnin because of koses, because of crunchiness. And the second one is because it's covered, kasui, and hidden, the actual sweetness is hidden within the dough. So, give you an example. This one's easy. Number 3 is cake. There's so much sugar in the cake, right? Or rugelach. How many of you guys like rugelach? You guys like that? Cinnamon rugelach? Little nice rugelach? No?
No, Rabbi, chocolate.
Chocolate. Chocolate, not cinnamon. You got it. Sorry, Joe. We'll go with chocolate rugelach, right? So how come we're not saying hamotzi on chocolate rugelach? It's made from wheat. It's baked. So the answer is because it's pat haba b'kisnin. The answer is because it's one of these 3. Now, you should know that the Gemara was not right. Good. Camille, donuts is good also, but we're going to see if it might not be baked, it might be fried, which is one of the reasons why you might be able to go to Dunkin' Donuts. Don't worry, we go to Dunkin' Donuts. Okay. Yes, so Rina, these are all mizonot. Jelly munchkins from Esther Shem Tov, yes. Also, very good. So now let's get to, Joey Azra, question. What do you got?
Yeah, so we're trying to prove that if it has like kisnin, then if it has kisnin, then it's not hamotzi.
Correct. All of these things. This is a side point till we get to the halacha. Unless I explain to you this side point, you're not going to understand what the heck the halacha is talking about. Okay. So let's just summarize.
Yeah.
There are 3 things that could be what's called pat haba'a b'kisnin. So let's just underline it here. Sorry, I'm going to erase the other stuff so that you guys can see. Okay, I'm erasing everything that's in here. I'm leaving the text boxes on the side so we can refer back to it. So right here, the only thing now that is circled on the screen is pat haba'a b'kisnin. That's a pat, which means bread, haba'a, that comes in a kisnin. Now, what the heck is pat haba'a b'kisnin? So because you guys learned with Rabbi Tawil, and you guys are bosses, right? Over here, you guys now know. Pat haba'a b'kisnin is 3 definitions. They should know the Gemara. Let's just play a game. Let's say that when you open up the Gemara in Masechet Berachot, and you see this, there were 3 rabbis that were debating this. They were fighting this. Rabbi number 1 says, you know what pat haba'a b'kisnin is? A pocket. Rabbi number 2 said, crispy like a cracker. Number 3 said, sugary like a cake, kneaded into the dough. So what's interesting is that let's just say, for example, Bobby Levy. What's up, Bob? Right? Let's say Bobby Levy is rabbi number 1. Chloe Jamal is rabbi number 2, right? Don't worry, we're not into female rabbis, but still, you guys can be smarter than men. So we know, Chloe, you probably are smarter than most of the boys here, right? And then, no offense, boys. And then we got Albert Saf, because he's my boy, right? Is rabbi number 3. So if Bobby Levy was rabbi number 1 and he said, you know what pat haba'a b'kisnin is? It's just a pocket. What would Bobby Levy say on cake? He would say hamotzi. He would wash for hamotzi.
I would say hamotzi.
Exactly. Perfect. Chloe Jamal, Rebbitzin Chloe, right? She's the Rebbitzin. Rebbitzin Chloe had crispy like a cracker. So what would Chloe Jamal say on a sambusak?
Hamotzi.
Hamotzi. Good. Don't be shy. Shout it out when you know it.
Hamotzi.
Good. Awesome. Now, and then Albert Saf.
Or she
he's
might say
saying no.
she'll if the cheese is the ikad.
Wait 1 second. And then Albert Saf, you would say that if your Rabbi Saf is holding that, it's cake. So what would he say on a cracker? Shout it out when you know it, guys. Same answer.
Hamotzi.
Hamotzi. Good. So guess what? You know what happened in the Gemara? They had something called the Ba'aya de la Ifsheta. Ba'aya de la Ifsheta means a problem that was not solved. So which one do we follow? Do we follow Rabbi Bobby, Rebbitzin Chloe, or Rabbi Saf? So we follow all three. We made, since the Gemara did not come up with a solution, it did not rule on the matter. So we rule leniently since it's a rabbinic derabanan. And all three of these are all mezonot. Exactly like Rena Cohen said when she started. They are all mezonot. Right, so Celia, we do not say hamotzi for any of those things. And that's why all I was saying, Celia, was that in the times of the Gemara, these three opinions were held by separate rabbis. So in the times of the Gemara, they picked one up from this list. Since they never came to an agreement, we nowadays, and once we did halacha from the Gemara, all three of these are mezonot. So we say mezonot on crackers, we say mezonot on things that have a pocket, and we also say mezonot on anything that is sweet, that is built into the dough. Cookies, cakes, rugelach, etc. Just from Celia Freeway, I just want to make sure that I get a thumbs up. Good. Okay.
I have a question.
Carol, what do you got?
I'm still a bit confused as to why we don't say stuff on the kisnin.
We do say stuff. We say mezonot.
I mean, why don't we say hamotzi on the kisnin?
Because there's it's okay. Good. Because these are character traits that are not indicative of real bread. Meaning, nobody. When you say hamotzi lechem min haaretz, nobody takes 2 Oreos and dips them into the salt and throws them on Friday night. You know what I'm saying? Right. Neither with a cracker, etc. It's not necessarily real bread. Okay. So the rabbis had a hunch that these were not real bread, but it came from the word kisnin. Let's go back to Ronnie Sassoon. Ronnie, you said something about ikar and tafel, but I don't think it has anything to do with this. But tell me, what did you say?
So in the case of the first definition of kisnin, a pocket, there could be something inside that might be the ikar if you consider it, if you're eating it for that and not for the
Okay,
dough.
so great point. So what Ronnie's talking about is something about ikar and tafel. We're not going to get wrapped up in it. I'll just answer Ronnie. Ronnie, what we hold is based on also Shulchan Aruch. Anytime there's mezonot for taste, it automatically, the mezonot trumps whatever's inside, and it becomes the ikar. So let's say like ice cream sandwich. You can say that I'm having an ice cream sandwich for the ice cream, but the fact that you like the ice cream sandwich part and it's mezonot, the beracha on an ice cream sandwich is a mezonot.
I have a question. Rabbi.
Good. 1 second. Ronnie, good?
Yeah.
Let's go to Joey Azrak, and then I hear other people too, but let's try to raise the hand so I could see you. Joey Azrak, what do you got?
Okay, so set it as an example. Somebody thought sambusak was like crispy, and then you said they would make hamotzi, but didn't
only
you
in the times
just
of the
say?
Gemara. I feel like I might have confused with that. It's only in the times of the Gemara. Right now, all you need to know is this list that I circled on the side. Those are the definitions of pata babi kisnin. We hold that it's all three are called pata
But
babi
some people
kisnin,
like
and we
chose.
say mezonot on all three. Nowadays, nobody washes on any of these. However, if you remember, Ronnie brought up that one time he had a certain amount where he had to wash. That's going to be this halakha. But I had to teach you what the heck this was before I can tell you the halakha. So basically, like Celia Freewa pointed out, we all say mezonot on all three of these things, right? Mezonot. Text box. I'm going to write.
Rabbi.
Give me 1 second. Let me finish the sentence. Yeah. Let me just finish the sentence. Right? All of these items are mezonot. Don't get confused. Okay? All of these things on mezonot. Now, all this next halakha teaches us is that there is a way that these things you'll have to wash on them. How is it going to be that I'm going to have to wash on Oreos? If you eat a whole box of Oreos, you have to wash. Okay, so that's what it's. We're going to give it a measurement, and we're going to give it an amount. Okay.
Rabbi, Oreos is is the pocket one?
No, Oreos would be either. Oreos could be two of them. It could be crispy 2 and 3. It could be crispy like a cracker, right?
Yeah.
Because a hard cookie is like a cracker, and also the actual wheat that's used to make the cookies of the Oreo is sugary, and it's into the dough. There's not sugar sprinkled on top of a pita. It's built into the cookie.
Yeah. Also, do we have to know like how you said like a pocket and then like is keys and then the crispy
No,
like
no,
a
no.
cracker?
That's just for your own. Not just for your own knowledge. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Leo.
Joey Azrick, is your hand up again, or just from the last time?
Nah, Rabbi, just from last time.
Okay, good. Who else has a question? Esti?
Yeah.
Yeah, Esti, kavod.
All of these things are mizonot, you said?
Say it one more time.
All of these things are mizonot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So now, Esti, what we're going to be doing is now, even though they're mezonot, we want to say this halakha is going to teach us that there is a way that they can be hamotzi. And the short answer is just going to be if you eat a lot of it. So the question is how much? Okay? Everybody give me a virtual thumbs up if you guys are good with that.
Wait, Rabbi, what does pocket mean when you say?
Pocket means, let's say it has like a cave inside. Like it has like meaning a sambusak, when you bite into it, it has like a pocket that you stuff the cheese inside.
Okay. So
that's my best example. Okay.
Okay.
Can you go over, like, after you finish halakha, so can you do like 6? Can you go over like the whole thing?
Yeah, let me just do the thing first. All right, Jacob? All right. So now, what does this say? This says, Hakoveya seuda, you establish a meal. Well, how do I establish a meal? It's all going to be on how much I eat. On pataba b'kisnin, now you guys know what pataba b'kisnin means. Dehainu she'ochel lemala mi-230 grams. Circle that number, guys. 230 grams. So that's like 2 bagels. Hayav litol yadav kedim nitilat yadayim lepat. If you know in advance that you're going to pig out on pat haba b'kisnin to the tune of 230 grams, then if you know that in advance, then you have to wash your hands netilat yadayim and say hamotzi. Okay? Now, since that's part 1 of Vav. Part 1 of Vav is if a person, so ready, I'll spell it out for you guys so you can write it down. If a person eats 230 grams of pat haba b'kisnin, if a person eats 230 grams of pat haba b'kisnin, they must wash their hands and say hamotzi. That's part 1. Part 2, however...
Wait, can you say that again?
Yeah. If a person eats more than 230 grams of pat haba b'kisnin, that's right here on the side, you need to wash your hands and say hamotzi. Right, meaning wash your hands netilat yadayim. That's part 1. Part 2 is very simple. All it's saying is, I'll read in Hebrew, there's an argument as to whether or not you make a beracha on this washing or not. And since there's a fight, we don't say to make a beracha on it. So you still have to wash your hands in the sink, but don't say a beracha. Okay? So part 2 is just don't say a beracha. If this case happens to you, you need to wash your hands and you need to say hamotzi, but don't say a beracha on this case.
Rabbi,
Okay, wait, who has a question? Yeah, Palachi.
I don't understand why wouldn't you say a beracha?
Because in the end of the day, Palachi, any of these 3 examples, Are these three things real bread? Is a cracker real bread?
No.
Is a donut real bread?
No.
Is a sambusak real bread?
No.
So the rabbis are saying, look, even though you're right, you should really, because you're establishing a meal on it and you're eating a ton, we're just not sure. Whenever the rabbis were not sure and there was an argument on blessings, Sephardim, and you're going to hear this a lot at Maggin, we have the klal of safek berachot lehakel. When we have a doubt in blessings, we rule leniently. So what's more lenient? Making you say blessings or not making you say blessings? Not making you say blessings, right? If I don't make you say a blessing, I'm being lenient. So we're going to not, anytime the rabbis fight over whether or not to say a beracha, we're going to tell you not to say it. Now, there are, of course, exceptions. There's a ton of exceptions to this, but as a rule, we don't want to take any chances. If rabbis are fighting about whether or not to say a beracha, we're going to leave it alone. Okay? And we're going to tell you don't say a beracha. So that's all that's just the only thing that the second thing tells you. Okay? Good or no good, guys?
Okay.
Good. Yeah, Albert Saf. Let's get Albert Saf. What do you got?
Wait, Rabbi, you lagged a little. Could you say that again?
What'd you say, Joey?
You lagged kind of at the end.
I lagged a little bit
Yeah.
on Palachi's question.
What you just said.
All I'm saying is that the second part is, since the rabbis argue as to whether or not you need to say a blessing on this, we don't say a blessing in this case.
We just wash our hands.
We just wash our hands and we say Hamotzi, but we don't say the blessing. Okay?
Okay.
Do we need to know?
Wait one second. Let's go to Albert Saf and then Mark. Albert.
Rabbi, when you say we don't say a blessing, like what? Like you said that we're saying hamotzi, so aren't we saying blessing? I didn't get that.
Because the rabbis knew for sure that if you eat that amount, that it's considered a meal. The argument was only on if it's not real bread, are we still going to make them wash? Meaning here, we're talking about the type of food that you're eating is not real bread. But since you've eaten such a large quantity, we're going to count it as a meal. So to say hamotzi and say birkat hamazon, we're going to say, yeah, that amount everybody agrees with, that it morphs and it changes into having to say birkat hamazon. But at the onset and in the beginning, even though you have in your mind, so some rabbis said, yeah, since you had it in your mind in the beginning, you should treat it like regular bread, say the beracha. Other rabbis said, no, you didn't really eat it all yet. It's not really real bread. I understand saying birkat hamazon because it's from the Torah. I understand saying hamotzi because it connects to birkat hamazon. Because the only way you say birkat hamazon is with hamotzi. When it comes to netilat yadayim, which is for cleanliness reasons, you can get it clean without having to say the blessing. So that's just the other school of thought with the rabbis. You don't have to agree with them. The point is that since there were rabbis that even fought about it, we're going to rule leniently and we're going to not take our chances. Even if logically we feel like it's better the other way.
So you only say birkat hamazon if you actually eat the 230 grams.
Correct.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
About
Morris
understanding
Escava, you have something, Morris?
Yeah, Rabbi.
One second, let me get to Morris Escava. Morris.
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, fine. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah. So do we need to know it's because they argued, or we just need to know that we don't say the beracha?
No, you should know it's because they argue. Safek berachot lahakel. You have to know that because there's an argument, we go the lenient way and we don't say a beracha. You have to know that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, let's go to Jacob. Jacob, what do you got?
I'm not really understanding like halakha part 2 of like halakha 6 part 2. Like when you say don't say a beracha, like what? I'm saying why not? Like really?
Because if you say saying a beracha for no reason, Jacob, is a very serious sin in our religion, especially with the Sephardim, the Sephardic people. Are you Sephardic, Jacob?
No.
No? All right. So I can move on?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm saying like,
I know.
why aren't we saying a beracha? Like I'm saying like, I didn't get the last part of that.
The reason why we're not saying a beracha is because some rabbis say not to. So we don't want to risk that those rabbis are right when it comes to saying a beracha. So we're going to follow them anyway.
On what I'm saying?
On making a netilat yadayim. Let's say a person sat down to eat a box of Oreos, right? And he knows that he's going to do it. So you're going to say, sick. I learned with Rabbi Tawil, I know the halakha, and when you sit down to eat 230 grams of cookies, that you have to wash in advance. Okay, that's meaning it's not bread, it's cookies, right? 3 cookies, 5 cookies, 10 cookies, those are all mezonot. Once you get to like 15, 20 cookies, you might have to actually say hamotzi. So check, I'm going to say hamotzi. Check, I'm going to say bekat hamazon. Check, I have to wash my hands netilat yadayim, but what about the blessing on netilat yadayim? So when it came to the blessing on that netilat yadayim, the rabbis had an argument. You're not eating real bread, you're eating Oreos. So some rabbis said, I don't care, since you're pigging out and you're eating more than 230 grams, you have to say the beracha on your washing of the hands, just like it was anything else. Just like if it was bread or pizza, right? Which is a type of bread. Other rabbis said, no, you don't. So who do we follow, Jacob? Usually we'll follow the majority, or we'll wait for a minhag. I'm here to teach you tonight that when you have an argument between rabbis about whether or not to say a blessing or not, usually, there are exceptions, usually you don't say the blessing.
Okay, I got it.
All right, you got it, and if you didn't, just ask somebody offline, because I want to try to do one more, all right? Okay. Good. Everybody give me a thumbs up for Vav. Okay. Okay, let's go to Zayin. Okay. Sorry. I'm just getting rid of the stuff. Okay. We're up to Zayin up here. Zayin is a very interesting law. Right? So now we say over here, what happens if a person has to eat bread in order to get rid of a very sharp taste? So meaning, let's say a person was eating something very hot and spicy, okay? If they're eating something very hot and spicy, sometimes you need something to take the taste out of your mouth, okay? So if I want to take something out of my mouth, what do? I grab bread. Let's say somebody grabbed the pita bread, right? It's something bland. Does a person have to wash for that? So this halakha says, ready? And I'll dictate it to you. This halakha says, if somebody eats bread, just to get rid of a hot or spicy taste in their mouth, doesn't have to be just hot or spicy. You can write hot, spicy, lemony, sharp, whatever it is. You do not need to wash netilat yadayim for that bread. Between you and I, you don't even have to say a beracha on that bread because you're not using it as food. You're using it as a chaser. But I'm not going to ask you about the blessing. That's not what we're covering. We're doing netilat yadayim. So, let me say it again. Somebody eats bread, and the reason why they're eating the bread is to get rid of the hot or the spicy or the lemony or the sharp taste in their mouths. They do not need to wash their hands. Okay? Part 2 is, don't write this first part, but I'm just explaining to you the context. If you need a lot of bread to get rid of the food, to get rid of the taste, and you ate the amount of bread that you ate to get rid of the taste was more than a kazayit, so you wash. It's proper. This is here. It says I underlined it. You see how I wrote? It says nachon. Nachon means it's proper. Not necessarily that it's a must. It's proper in that case to wash your hands. Again, what's the magic word? Without a blessing. So again, that's part two is, so again, part one was if you're going to eat bread only to get rid of a bad taste in your mouth, either like something spicy, lemony, sharp, whatever it is. So you're going to eat the bread without a beracha, but that part you don't have to know. And you're going to eat it without netilat yadayim. That's part one. Part two just says if you need so much bread to get rid of the taste that you ended up eating more than a kizayit of bread, then it's proper in that case. If you know in advance, you're like, boy, I love these jalapeno peppers, but I need like a whole pita bread to get rid of the taste. So then in advance, you should just wash with no beracha. Okay, and now I know what you're going to ask, but Rabbi, you just said I don't even need to say hamotzi. You're right, but since you're handling that much bread, and it's for cleanliness reasons, you could wash without even having to say hamotzi. Okay, let's get questions. I got Bobby Levy raising his virtual hand. Bobby Levy, what do you got?
So if you only have like a bite of bread, then you don't have to wash your hands.
Correct.
If you have like a full slice of bread, you should.
Yes, correct. And that's how we said. And last week we discussed that with everybody here, that some people, they're not doing the right thing. They take like a little tiny piece of bread. They wash their hands Shabbat, Friday night. They say a beracha, and then they only eat a little, the tiniest piece of bread. They're doing the wrong thing, and you're not supposed to say Birkat Hamazon in that case either, because you didn't eat enough. Got it, Bobby?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's go to Palachi. Palachi was next. Palachi, what do you got?
So I'm not really understanding like part one and part two. It's like very unclear for me.
Which part, bro?
Both of them. I'm not understanding it.
Okay, let's say, did you ever eat? I'll come back to you 1 second. Jacob, what's your question?
Hold on. I forgot it. Give me a second.
All right, good. Okay. One more time, I'm going to review it again, okay? Like what Palachi said. Palachi, you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Let's say you eat something. We're going to talking about bread, right? What if you eat, when do you usually eat bread? Palachi, because you like bread, right?
Okay.
It's tasty, right? You want to eat the bread, right?
Yeah.
What if so there's a halakha that tells you that if you ate the bread, not because you like the taste, but you're eating bread just to get rid of a taste that's in your mouth, it's like you're not even eating the real bread. That's something you don't have to say a beracha on. I never have to say a beracha on something that I'm just using to get rid of a taste that's in my mouth. Okay?
But it's still bread. Bread is bread, though.
I got it, but it's not. But now it's not functioning as bread because what is it functioning as? Something to do what?
Something to get the taste out of your
Something
mouth.
to just get the taste out. You're not getting real pleasure from the bread. You're just trying to kill the displeasure from what you just ate.
Oh.
You understand? So part one is just saying.
Make a beracha on bread.
Part one, forget the beracha part. I just said that as a nice thing. As a halakha, because we're definitely, all of you guys want to do well on this test, but the biggest thing is because you guys want to study Torah. So over here, what you have is if a person just wants to eat that bread, Palachi, right? Like you thought, you said, Rabbi, bread is bread. This is a case where bread is not bread. This is a case where bread is just being used to get rid of taste. If you have bread that's used to get rid of taste, part one that I just said, right? Forget the beracha part. That was just, I just blew that a kiss. I just wanted you to know that because I'm your rabbi.
Wow.
Now, the major thing I want you to know is you don't wash your hands on that bread. Okay? That's part one. Palachi, good?
Yeah, you don't.
I'm not going to wait for you to write it. I just want to make sure you understand it. You understand it? Okay. Now, part two, all that says, Palachi, is the same thing as part one. All it's saying is, is that, but if you ate, I understand that in this case, bread is not bread, and you're eating a lot, and you're eating it just to get rid of taste. But if you eat a lot of it, how much is a lot? Kezayit. Wash your hands without a beracha.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Good. Okay, Ronnie is next, and then Ezra. Ronnie, what do you got?
At the end of Vav it says, Yesh lo amal sheismoch. What does that mean?
Yesh amal lismoch means you have on what to rely on. Yesh
Okay.
alma lismoch means to lean on. Where do you see that here, though?
I just didn't understand the end of Vav.
Oh, then the Vav. You went back to Vav. Okay, yes, good. Yesh amal lismoch means you have on what to rely.
Part 2 of.
Good, Ronnie, or no? Ronnie, are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Ezra Cohen. Ezra, what do you got?
Wait, so you don't need to make a beracha on the bread?
Correct.
But
Only in this case, though, Ezra. Why don't I have to make a beracha on this case, Ezra?
if you're not eating bread, it's just to get rid of the taste.
Right, you're just getting rid of the taste. You're not really caring about the taste of the bread. You just want the nasty taste that's in your mouth now to be out of it. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, Jacob Shalom for the win. What do you got, Jacob?
Wait, so for part two of Halacha 7, it says that if you ate more than kazait, then you should wash your hands with a beracha or no beracha.
Without.
So you're making a beracha on the bread.
Without making a beracha on the bread.
Wait, so you are making a beracha on the bread and not washing your hands with a beracha, or
Part of his meal. Say it one more time, Jacob.
Okay.
Sorry.
For Halacha Zayin on part 2, it says if you ate more than kazait, you're supposed to say a beracha on the bread or while washing your hands.
It says nachon to say to not. You keep saying to say a beracha. There's no beracha being made in here whatsoever. Not on the food and not on the netilah. Okay. All it's saying in part 2 is, in part 1 it said you don't have to wash your hands at all. Part 2 says if you eat a lot of the bread, in order to get rid of the taste, wash your hands, but without a beracha.
Not making a beracha on the bread either?
No, that's the whole point. We're not making a beracha on the bread, and we're not making a beracha on the washer. Because this bread is not really bread that you're eating. Even though it's going inside your mouth, why is it going inside of your mouth? Because you want pleasure from the bread, or you just want to kill the displeasure from the other thing you ate?
You want to kill the displeasure.
Good. So therefore, in that case, we don't say a beracha. Not on the netilah and not on the bread. The first part of this was you don't even have to wash your hands at all. Let's say I take a little piece of bread. I just want to get rid of the taste. I don't have to wash my hands at all. Part 2 says, yeah, but if you took a lot of bread, wash your hands. But Jacob, without what?
Without a beracha.
Good. You good? Okay.
Yeah, Robert, very good.
Second. Okay. We're going to sneak in Chet, and then we're going to stop for the night. Okay? Chet, we're up to number 8. So Chet, all Chet tells you is, what is the measurement? What is the measurement? Well, forget the measurement. You can say, what is the measurement, or what is the amount of water you need to wash your hands for netilat yadayim? How much water? That's the question. Right? Part 1 of Chet says, what's the question? Again, I'll re-say the question. How much water do you need for netilat yadayim for a meal? And the answer is, and know it in Hebrew, okay? Hint, hint. I'm putting this on the test. Okay? Know that the measurement is a revi'it. Revi'it is 3.3 ounces of water. It's not a lot of water. A lot of you guys are Mag and David guys, in the elementary school, when you go behind the lunchroom, they got those teeny, tiny cups of water to wash netilat yadayim. They're not so teeny tiny. They got over 3 ounces. Those things will hold 10 to 12 ounces of water. You really only need 3.3. Okay? So part 1 of 8 is question. How much water do you need for netilat yadayim for a meal? How much water do you need for netilat yadayim for a meal?
33 ounces.
Not 33, 3.3.
3.3.
I'm going to give you 33
3.3. I knew
like
that.
a question to mess you up.
That.
I'm going to go 0.33, 33, 3.3, 33333, right? I'm going to be very annoying with that, right? It's 3.3 ounces. Okay? Good?
Yeah, Rabbi.
Okay. That's a little bit mahmir. If you read other books, some books say it's 3.19. Some people say it's 3.28. 3.3 is just a good way for you guys to remember it, okay? And it's close enough. It's a little bit on the, some people say 3.31. It's gazy. 3.3, okay? That'll cover you for most opinions. Now, part 2, so what?
The question is, what is the amount of water you need of netilat yadayim for a meal?
For a meal. We're all the times that we're talking about netilat yadayim here, it's the netilat yadayim before you have bread. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, good. All right, so now part 1 was how much do you need? How much water? What's the measurement that you need to pour on your hands, right? For the netilat yadayim. It's 3.3 ounces. Good job, Bobby. Good. Now, part 2, you should just know, part 2 is, but it's a big beracha to use a lot of water. That's all. You need to know that based on what Rav Hasda says, I'm not going to test you on the rabbi. You don't have to know that it was Rav Hasda. But you could say that Rav Hasda, here it is Rav Hasda, and he says, I would put a lot of water on my hands. And it was as why as a siman of blessing. What do we do every day, guys, when we say Ashrei Yoshvei V'techa? What do we do? We hold out our hands and what do we say? Potayah et yadecha. So we say that because it means Hashem, open your hands and give us stuff. Give us food. And you give it not just to us, you give it to everybody. So here too, so what hands are also connected here. In terms of, we say, look, you're washing your hands, pour a lot of water as a symbol that Hashem should give you a lot. That's all it is, that Hashem is going to give you a lot. So part 2 is just using a lot of water for netilat yadayim can bring us beracha. Now that doesn't mean you can curse out Hashem. Hashem, I've been using gallons and gallons of water for netilat yadayim and I'm not rich. Doesn't work that way, okay? But it's a siman of beracha. It's a sign of beracha.
Do you think we'll be able to finish this whole booklet by the time the summer is over at this rate?
Bezrat Hashem, I think this is a difficult part because there's a lot of background, but I'll try to go faster next week if you want. We have like 5 more classes. Next week it's Tisha B'Av, so we're not going to be able to have the class. But we'll try to find another time for it maybe next week, okay?
Bye-bye.
I'm looking at the chat over here 1 second.
Rabbi, it's 13 pages.
What's number 2?
What?
Yeah, what's the set part 2?
Guys, hello, you got to keep up, bros. Part
I know it. No, Rabbi, I know. I just like that last one is using a lot of water for netilat can bring berachot.
That's it. I'll say it one more time. Using a lot of water, right? Part 1 is how much water do you need? 3.3 ounces. Part 2 is just saying, if you use a lot of water, it's a good siman for beracha. Okay, I'm just trying to catch up in the chat. Where's Camille? Camille, you said no for part 2, no beracha on the washing or no beracha on the bread. It's both. You got that? Give me a virtual thumbs up. Can't see here. Good. Okay, good. Camille got it. Think washing. Thank you, Rabbi. Okay, good. We got that. Okay. So we'll pick it up from Tet next time. All right, guys?
Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
All
Thank
right,
you.
you got it, guys.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Good night.
Take care. Have a great night, guys.
Shabbat shalom, Rabbi.
Thank you.
You got it, guys. Take care. See you soon. Okay, Palachi, you ready to stay back?
Yeah.
Which thing did you need?
For part hey.
For hay?
Yeah.
1 second. I'm gonna erase this thing for you so that we can just see it. Okay, which part, Palachi?
No, I just wrote a summary on it. I want to know if it's right.
Okay, give it to me.
It's when washing hands with a beracha, you should have in mind eating more than a kezayit of bread, and then you can start eating.
Yeah, but that's more part of Dalit, not hay. What'd you write for Dalit?
If less than 29 grams, you cannot become tameh from it.
Right. Okay. All right. I see that. Yeah, I would say that that's good for hay.
Or would it be better if
No,
a
the only
person?
thing that I would add, because really hay is about what if I started eating, right, Palachi?
Yeah.
I started eating, and I knew that I was going to eat the right amount of bread, but then in the middle I got stuck. You don't have to force yourself. That's all hay is saying. You don't have to force yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
So the summary you said would be better.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you copied it wrong or something. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Rabbi.
What's up, Albert? How you doing? Just wanted to be the last one on, no?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. I missed last week, but it's fine. Freddie can catch me up.
Okay, awesome. Love you, man.
Okay. Bye, Rabbi.
Take care. I love you. I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye bye.